Armin, can you pull my chair?
Yeah. Go.
Okay.
Can you pull my shirt?
Too high. There. Wow. Oh. All right, so we got our first one of the day. Starting out a little bit late today. But we got our first one. Oh. Whoa. That was weird. The car went into neutral by itself. What happened?
No, the thing came off.
Oh. I'll be right back. Let me just go grab it. All right, first one of the day. This one was 19 bucks. It's pretty far though. 18 miles. But it's Wednesday, so things are not great on Wednesdays. Wow. Some shit. Hi, Ellie. How are you? Thank you. Alrighty. We got the first order of the day. Put our stuff in the delivery bag. Oh. Hello. How's it going? Eat the whole thing? Nah. Can't eat the whole thing. Alright, so we'll be driving, so I won't be able to see the chat. But my son is with me today, so maybe he can see the chat and respond. All right, ready? Let's go. Hi, Ninja. Let's get this. Oh, gotta move this. Oh, probably about 330, 340, maybe. Big guy. Samuel Ponce. Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall.
And I'm 5'4".
We're doing deliveries for the day. We're trying to get to at least $80 for the day because we did start really late. I just didn't get a good sleep last night because of this. My throat, I got a lot of phlegm in there. So I went back, took a nap, and I woke up late. But we're at it, trying to get this money. Mainly, we're just trying to get the hours. Because out here in Cali, we have that Prop 22, so the longer you're out actually doing a delivery, the more, well, they have to pay you hourly, so you at least get that minimum. And then any tip on top of that is not necessarily extra, but you know, kind of evens out the pay. Yeah. Yeah, in California, they have to pay you, I forgot, 110% of the minimum wage. 110% on top of the minimum wage. So minimum wage out here is like 15 something, but 110% brings it up or something like that. They bring it up to about $20 an hour, especially depending on the locality of where you're at. So obviously, if you're in like Fresno or trying to do Uber Eats where the local minimum wage is lower, they will pay you less. Yes, this includes DoorDash. This includes Uber. Oh shoot.
Includes Postmates. I mean, Postmates is technically it is Uber Eats.
Yeah, any food delivery service has to pay you that minimum out here in California. Wow, that was a big hole. Jesus. No, it's not. It's not 30. I wish it was 30. But I done the calculation. It's more about it's about $21 an hour, and on top of that, it's mileage. So obviously, the more you drive while doing deliveries, the more money you will get per mile. I think it's 36 cents per mile. But yeah, it's not that bad. But you got to think about the cost of living out here is insane. The cheapest rent out here is probably like 1,500 for like a studio. And if you got a family, if you need a 2-bedroom, that's like at least 2,500 minimum, 3,000. And if you got even bigger family, it's like you need a 3-bedroom. That's like $4,000, $5,000 a month. On top of that, you got health insurance. Health insurance just went up like crazy because of Donald Trump and his Republican goons. So I went from $55 a month to $311 a month. Just on health insurance. At least every 2 days, at least 20, $25. So, you do the math, it's like every week at least $60 to $70 in gas every week. I know. And then you gotta do your car, so oil change probably like every month. That's if you do it yourself, it's great. Like me, you spend like $25 at Walmart for an oil change. That ain't bad. If you do it on a Prius or a hybrid car, you don't really need to do your brakes that often. So that's kind of a saver. But when you do, it's $100 something bucks. It adds up, and then not only that, but you depreciate your car. So I wouldn't be doing delivery on like a brand new car. Like you want to buy yourself a nice beater that will be reliable and won't leave you stranded, you know? Yes, sir. I usually do a lot of reviews, mostly reviews. Lately, I've been, trying to, play online and live stream. When you do videos, it's a lot of work, especially with editing and whatnot. And a lot of times, I don't have a lot of time. I got to do all the stuff at home, laundry, cooking. My wife works too, so so it's hard to like sit down and edit, to be able to sit down and edit for like a good 2 hours. It's hard. Yeah, a lot of live streaming. I've been doing a lot of Arc Raider streams. And I just recently upgraded my rig. Yeah, if you send messages with bad words, there's a automatic moderator on YouTube, and it'll automatically just like stop like that message from coming through. It wouldn't even show it to me. It'll just be like blank. Editing is hard because it's tedious, especially when you're, creating content. You make a lot of mistakes. Not reading your lines right, or you say something's wrong and you have to take it off, or you make a mistake and you have to go back, search for a small part in the video to be able to go in and meticulously cut it out. Or sometimes I say a lot while I'm recording, and I hate that, so I have to go in and cut it and have to get it right at the audio where it stops, cut it, delete. And there's a lot of that. And on top of that, adding your music, which isn't too hard. Adding the text, uh, getting information online to be able to put it on your video, a lot of research. So, it comes off the top of your head, off the top of your dome, but to be honest with you, it's hard for that reason. It's that, something that you, in your mind, you see it right away, like, oh yeah, this is going to be a great video. And, you sit down and you're editing and you're like, oh man, it's, and then I have ADHD, so I get distracted really easily. And then that doesn't help out. So you end up having to rewrite the same video, or you're missing footage, so you have to reshoot it. It's crazy. Yeah, the AirPods are pretty sick. I have the tubes thanks to my nephew. One of them broke on his, so he was just like, I'm not gonna bother to try to fix them. So he's like, hey, you can have them if you can get them fixed. You get your AirPods. You got AirPods. So I was like, all right. So I cleaned them up. I found a spare, not a spare, but I guess an AirPod on eBay. I got it. It came in a couple of days, and then I paired it with the AirPods that my nephew gave me, and there you go. So he got the 3s and I got the 2s. And honestly, he probably wanted to get the 3s anyway, so he probably could have sold the old ones, but he doesn't like to spend time trying to sell stuff. Yeah, even the noise cancellation on the 2s are pretty good. I've tried both of them, and they're pretty much similar. On the 3s, I think a lot of complaints about those is that the bass is too much. It's too punchy. I mean, I like bass, but some people don't like it, especially on certain types of music. Yeah, if you like bass, you're more likely to get like the AirPods 3, AirPods Pro 3. Yeah. Yeah, the bass is good. When I was younger, I used to really love having a lot of bass, but now, as I'm getting into this old age, into my boomer years, I feel like I like having a clean sound. Like to be able to hear things that you normally wouldn't hear, like on regular speakers. Kind of like audiophile-ish. Oh, I just turned 40 this last year. or 2025. So I'm gonna be 41 this coming year, or this year I'm gonna be 41. Pretty old. I used to do a workout stream.
Yoga.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of yoga and stuff like that. I tried working out, and I did. I lost weight. I went down from 325, I think, to like 305. It really helped me out. But the problem was that I didn't know that I suffered a stroke almost 3 years ago. And it was because of blood pressure. So that yoga was kind of possibly doing that. And the stroke was a brain bleed that I had. I was in Vegas suffering a big bout of constipation because I was eating all kinds of crap. And a blood vessel inside my brain popped, which caused me to basically, my brain was hurting, my head was hurting. It was crazy. I couldn't eat. I was throwing up every time. And I didn't know for a whole day. I didn't know that I actually had a stroke until I went to the hospital because I couldn't take the pain anymore. The pain was so unbearable that it felt like somebody was like chopping the back of my neck. But I thought I sprained my neck. I was like, oh man, it hurts so bad. I was like, man, that sucks. I think I sprained my neck and it's making my head hurt. And, it's making my head hurt. So that's what's making me throw up. But now it was actually a stroke. And the blood was hitting the lining of my brain and irritating the lining of my brain, making me throw up. And also the pain was in my brain and not in my back or in my muscles, which I thought. That was crazy. It was a crazy time. I thought I was gonna die. What, the battery's going away from me?
Yeah. Literally just going to the back.
Yeah, me too, man. I am happy that I am fine now. I just need to watch what I eat. And I do in a sense watch what I eat. Because I watch it go down my throat now. No, because, I do try to take care of myself. But sometimes I overeat. So things that are normally healthy for you, I end up overeating. So yeah, that's why I don't do a lot of workout streams, because I'm afraid that
You get another stroke.
I'm gonna get another stroke. And that's probably some mental thing.
Happens to a lot of people.
Yes.
So you hug.
Oh yeah. All right, we're coming up on our first delivery. And this map is so wrong. All right, we got another offer. It's terrible. $12, 12 miles. I am not going to take it. Should I? Yeah, you know what? I'll take it. Because it'll put us closer to our goal. And one more street to go. Yeah, I think I need to do like I had some suggestions that I should do exercise bike. Where and not necessarily like going ham, on the exercise bike, but taking it easy and movement to increase the heart rate, but not to the extreme. Because when I was doing yoga, I was straining a lot, like hardcore. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta do my first delivery. I wish I could walk with the phone, but it's kind of weird.
Cynthia C says, leave it.
All right. Front house, please leave it at the front door. Will do. Let's go. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Order is at your front door. Have a great day. Alrighty. First one is complete. So this was hey, that's true. Exercise bike was hard. They even have some you can connect to the TV. Yeah, and if you was doing that with yoga, and it could have been that. Yeah. Nobody. They say to use an exercise bike instead of any other exercise so you don't strain your blood pressure too much while you're recovering. And I don't think I'm still recovering. I think I'm healed already, but it's just scary to go through that again. All right, next pickup is burritos. Never been to this place. I'm kind of way off my delivery zone. So we got 19 for that first one, and this one's 12. So that means that we're at 32 bucks. $31. So that means that we're only $50 away from the goal. Oh, look at the puppy. They cut his ears. Poor dog. Sometimes your stroke can have very mild symptoms. I can't remember what, but it's stuff you would think is normal. Yeah, it depends on the type of stroke you're getting. Somebody crossing the street? Oh, there. I know. Depends on the type of stroke. If like I had a brain bleed stroke, and then there's like heart, kind of like a heart attack stroke where your blood gets stuck or a blood clot gets stuck. Semi truck was involved in a collision. The way they would do it is they would do a procedure kind of like how they did to me, where they basically they insert a probe through your leg by your groin area, by your sack, and they put this thin, kind of like robotic arm, like thin, like it goes through your blood vessel, and they go from your leg all the way to the top of your brain here, and they get it with a grabber and they pull it out. So that's one way. Or the other way is they give you medication where it kind of like breaks apart, and you wait and you sit there and wait and see if it works. And then after that happens, if that happens and you still have the clot, then you would need a stint, or not necessarily a stint, but like some type of mesh to hold the vein open, or basically to hold the vein open. Another way is they cut out that part that's actually causing the clot. So like if you have a high cholesterol and you have like a buildup of cholesterol, they'll cut out that piece and take it out from your blood vessel. Or if it's at your heart, I don't think they could touch it if it's at your heart, but yeah, it's kind of like a very thin snake that they snake through the bottom of your leg. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna pick up the next order. Burritos La Palma. We got 2 burritos. Most of the people that are ordering right now, they're not tipping. Our first order, I can tell you, they tipped $4. No, wait. No, $3. First order tipped $3. I mean, which is okay, I guess. Food's not that expensive, but it's just the mileage. The mileage was almost 20 miles, which is insane. But a lot of people don't factor in miles, They're just like, oh, well, my food's only, $20. Why should I tip you more than $3? I get it, but you gotta think the drivers are going far. All right, so 2 burritos. I'll be right back. Yeah, 20 miles, pretty far. Ooh. Pick up for Leslie. No scanning. Sometimes. Yeah. Cool. All right, thank you. You too. Man, I had the Jam playing in there. They got the Sick remix. All right. Put the burritos in the heat bag. These are some of the lightest, smallest burritos ever. Handmade flour tortillas. That's pretty sick. All right, so this one's 12 miles. So let's go.
The boy picked up the bat and hit a powerful shot. Everyone was shocked. Now they realized he actually had real talent. The boy invited them to his house, and they saw his wealth. They were speechless. They played basketball together, rode roller coasters, and that became the happiest day of his life.
Lower volume. It's too loud. It is too loud. All right, so we're at 31 bucks. 31. We're $49 to go. And we'll be finished. Finito. All right, and we're at 46 minutes 46 minutes of active time. So we're not even at an hour of delivery time yet. No. If someone orders a large order, Uber, DoorDash, whatever, they will pay you the same rate regardless. So if a KFC order that comes in and they ordered 15 bucks worth of food and it's 5 miles away and Uber pays you $4, a guy that orders $1,000 worth of food with 4 bags of food, and then it's the same distance and same mileage and everything, you still get the same amount from Uber. Now the customer, usually when somebody orders a big order, will tip you more. So, you know, this order might only tip you $4, $3, you know, but the customer that spent $1,000, you know, sometimes they use their corporate cards and they tip off the corporate card and they tip you the 20% of $1,000. So you might get like if you're lucky, you'll get $200 tip. But if you're not lucky, you know, they may tip you like $20. Or sometimes you'll get really unlucky and they say they're going to give you a $20 tip, but after you finish the delivery, they take away the tip. And those are tip baiters. And I've had plenty of those, let me tell you. It all depends. It all depends on who's ordering and, you know. if they know tipping culture, you know. I get a lot of foreigners, like Chinese. Like, I'm not talking about like American Chinese, but like Chinese from, like, you know, from Shenzhen, you know, and they speak like almost no English, and they have no idea concept of tipping, and they'll order, you know, that much food and they won't tip you at all. But, you know, they're accustomed to it because they just get, you know, in China they just get a fair wage and that's it. You know, they don't think about tipping. Same thing with European countries. You know, they you know, in Italy there's no such thing as tipping. You just pay your tab and they charge you accordingly, so you don't you know, they get a fair wage, so they never think like, oh, I'm gonna get a tip. This, it doesn't exist, you know. Only in America, let me tell you. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, Papa Gut. But I mean, I don't recommend you go, you know, to go watch him. But he just came up on my feed, and you know, he had a video up. Oh, we got an add-on order for all that pho, $6 for no additional mileage. So we're gonna add that, and now we gotta go pick up all that pho. Anyway, so this guy, he showed an old lady. I mean, granted, she's old. She's like 60 something. She's on oxygen, and she's ordering deliveries through Walmart. And she's paying $12.99. But what this lady was doing was, she was entice drivers. She would say she was going to tip them on the order, so she would put, you know, a $20 tip, but then when they got there, she just took it away within 24 hours, and she was doing that constantly. And I guess drivers figured out that it was her, you know, like, oh, it's this, you know, it's this lady again. So she wasn't getting her orders anymore because of what she was doing. And she was complaining to Walmart, like, why is my order taking so long to get here? Well, it was because all the drivers knew who she was, and they didn't accept her orders anymore. And it's sad, you know, because obviously she really does need it, you know. She does need deliveries, but also, you know, Walmart doesn't want to pay delivery drivers fairly, so, you know, they're like screwing the drivers over and her. Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. We used to get paid well back in the day. And then the wage disparity grew too much. CEO's wages went from, when I was a kid, $100,000 as a CEO was like amazing. You know, and as a worker, you'd probably get like what, $12,000-$15,000 a year. So the wage disparity wasn't that much different, you know. A CEO was making 100K, you're making 12. But now a CEO is making 3 mil and you're making 30. If that. Or a CEO for a nonprofit hospital is making 3 million, 6 million. And you as a nurse, you're making 80. And it's just like, whoa. That's crazy. And because there was a pay, the wage disparity wasn't that much. CEOs would give bonuses to their employees, especially if they've been there for a long time. And now they skip out on bonuses and give themselves bonuses versus like the lower wage employees. And that's what happens in a capitalist society. The greed takes over. Just think of like Uber. The Uber CEO is probably making millions. Drivers are probably not making a lot. I'm pretty sure Uber pays more in like lawsuits than they do to their actual employees. And I'm sure that the Uber CEO is making millions. Yes, sir. They do need to pay up. It's not necessarily paying up. It's just they need to realize that, they have to pay their fair share. And a lot of that changed because of Republicans and Democrats. Back then we used to have a 30% tax. Anything over $1 million. So anything over $1 million, you would pay 30%. And obviously that's what kept wages low because, like if you don't want to pay 30%, you're gonna work more. You're gonna work more for, so you can pay more taxes. So people would just kind of like, all right, well, I don't want my wages to go any higher because I don't want to pay extra taxes. So let's just keep it at that low. But then they, stopped that 30% tax on wealth. And then CEOs just started paying themselves up the wazoo. All right, so where is this place? All of that right here. All right, I've never been to this place, so this is a new area for me. We're so far out from where we usually stay. All in the name of doing deliveries. So yeah, you can imagine for years and years. And then corporations weren't allowed to buy back their own stocks. And then the Republicans brought it back. And then we had the 2008 crash, which then they stopped that from happening again. So they stopped the stock buybacks, and then Trump came back, and then they did it again. And now we're back at it again with stock buybacks. So instead of, companies investing in their own employees or in their, R&D, and they just do it on buybacks. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go pick up this. Yeah, man. All that pho. We gotta go all that pho and pick up for a lady. We got 2 full special 2 shrimp fried rice, and a Thai milk tea. Nice. Nice. I'll be right back. Man, people were enjoying the food in there. Looked really good. All right, so we got a big order. All right, burritos, gotta move you out. I'm gonna put these guys in here. All right, and we gotta put the burritos on top. All right, let's go. And you gotta get the drink. Put them here in the back cup holder, and we're good. Let's go. Oh. Let's go. Oh, wrong phone. Alrighty. Well, we're not that far off from the drop off. We're about 4 miles away. Yeah, 4 miles. Let's go. Wow. Teslas are pretty good. Teslas are okay. The only thing you would have to worry about a Tesla is longevity. What I mean by that is the Tesla won't give you any problems for the first probably like maybe 3 years of you owning it. But if you ever have an issue with the battery, you know, obviously within those 3 years, you might put close to 100,000 miles on it while doing deliveries, you know, if you're doing it full time. And if your battery does go out, because they're only going to give you so much warranty. If your battery goes out like right at the moment you hit 100,000 miles, like that's coming out of you, you know? And the batteries, they're not cheap. They're like $15,000 to $20,000 for a reconditioned battery. Not a new battery, a reconditioned battery. So essentially what they do is they take your battery out, they find one close to what yours is in longevity, and then they put that in your car. And they'll take it out, they'll repair whatever cells. Well, basically, they give you the other battery, and then they repair that one and give it to somebody else that is in the same situation as you. So if you still owe money on the car after 3 or 4 years, guess what? You will have to owe that on top of the new battery that you need to get in, or that you had put in. Not even a new battery, I'm sorry, a reconditioned battery. That's the only problem. If you drive the Tesla a lot, then it's not for you, you know? But if you as an individual use it just for you to go to work and come back, then that's perfectly fine. But for deliveries, it's kind of like you're taking a giant risk, especially if all your money is coming from doing deliveries, you know? If all your income is doing deliveries and your car is out, especially if, you know, you're living almost paycheck to paycheck, then you're going to be out, you know? You're not going to have, your job is gone, essentially. If your car is gone, your job is gone. So that's the only problem I have with electric cars, is that, I mean, that could happen to me too, you know, in this car. Like I could go out, my engine blows up for no apparent reason, you know, one of my bearings could blow out, but I can find another engine for like $1,000 and have a mechanic put it in for another $1,000 and be back on the road, you know? While a Tesla, if that battery goes out, that's a lot of money. Exactly. You're better off getting a Honda or a Toyota. If you think about doing deliveries, just make sure to do your own maintenance and try to do your own repairs, because it will save you a lot of money. Yeah, then it's over, like you said. Now, if you saved all that money that you would have spent on your other car with gas, it still wouldn't total, I think, the amount that you would need to replace the battery. Man, what a beautiful day, man. 86 degrees. 86 degrees, nice and warm. It's not crazy hot. And there's a bit of clouds in the sky. It's nice weather out here today. Good weather in LA. How would I feel in 41 degrees? I would be freezing my butt off. I'd have like 2 jackets on, 2 pairs of sweatpants. Ow. And probably like double gloves. Nah, actually I wouldn't. Just the other day it was about 40 degrees. Oh man. Hey, I need your help. My delivery thing fell. Right here by my leg. Can you grab it?
Oh, what is it?
Right here by my foot.
Your phone?
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Okay. Sorry to wake you up.
Lazy dog!
Lazy dog. No, yeah. The other day it was 40 degrees outside in the morning. But I just put on my jacket. I had shorts on actually. I had shorts on with my socks and my Crocs. And I was good to go. I mean, obviously, I got in my car, turned on the heater, but yeah, 40 degrees ain't no joke. Like all those protesters in Minnesota who are out there combating ICE and all that, I give them hats off, because it's to be out there protesting at that temperature it's crazy.